Hey, and welcome back to the Spruce Grove Public Library's YouTube channel. I'm Sarah, the children's librarian here at the library, and we are continuing our reading journey reading A Boy Called Bat. So this is the book that we have been reading for quite a number of chapters now, and we are reading it as part of the Global Read Aloud 2018. So there is a selection of books that they've picked for this year, and this is the one for the juvenile age group. We are also reading aloud the teen book, Love, Hate and Other Filters. So if you haven't followed along with that one and you're interested in it, then do go find our videos. And we are also going to be reading some of the picture books that they selected, so do find our videos for those too. And any other books that we haven't managed to read aloud because we just haven't had time this year, then we also have those in our selection. And if you want to grab a book on your own and you can read it with your family, then we can find you a copy. So yeah. And we're going to continue with chapter 16 today. It's called A Correspondence. The next day, when it was time for recess, Israel stopped at Bat's desk instead of going outside with the rest of the class and said, "Hey Bat, do you want to play Foursquare or something?" "No," said Bat. He was still sitting at his desk. "No, you don't want to play Foursquare?" "No, I don't want to play anything," Bat answered. All the other kids had left the classroom, and Bat really wanted Israel to leave too, so he could talk to Mr. Grayson in private. But Israel kept standing there like he was waiting for something. "Well, do you want to go outside and not just play anything?" "No," Bat said, "I don't." Israel stood next to the desk for a moment longer, sort of smiling like he was waiting for Bat to say something more. But what could he be waiting for Bat to say? In his head, Bat ran through the list of things he was supposed to remember to say to people. "Excuse me, I'm sorry, please, may I, thank you." "Thank you," Bat said. Okay, said Israel, and he shrugged, and then finally he left. After Israel was gone, Bat went up to Mr. Grayson's desk. Mr. Grayson had a stack of their current event assignments in front of him. He was making comments on each one in a green felt-tip pen. "Mr. Grayson," Bat said, "I need your help." Mr. Grayson put the cap on his pen and set it down. "I'm all ears," he said. That was a funny expression, and for a second Bat pictured Mr. Grayson entirely made out of ears, with ears for eyes and an ear for a nose and two tiny rows of little ears for teeth. "Well," said Bat, "let me tell you about Thor." And then Bat told Mr. Grayson everything about the skunk kit, about how Mum had brought him home after his mother had died, about how he drank puppy formula because there is no skunk formula, and about how he went to the bathroom and how he needed to eat every 2 hours, and how when Mum first brought him home he was almost all pink, but now his black fur was starting to grow in, and most of all, how Bat loved him. "He sounds pretty great," Mr. Grayson said. "Yes," said Bat. "He's more than pretty great, he is all the way great." "So how can I help you, Bat?" "There's a world skunk expert called Dr. Jerry Dragoo, and I want his advice on something. It's important." "Okay," said Mr. Grayson. He pushed the stack of papers to one side and pulled his laptop from his satchel. He opened it and logged on. That was one of the great things about Mr. Grayson. If you said you needed help, he just helped without asking a lot of annoying questions. "There's only one Dr. Jerry Dragoo," said Mr. Grayson. "He's a professor at a university. We can write him an email if you want. That's his email address right there." Could it be this easy? Could Bat really just write to the skunk expert? Bat liked to send emails. He sent emails every month to his grandmother who lived in Idaho because he hated talking on the phone. Emails gave you time to think. "Okay," said Bat. "What do you want it to say? I can type it for you." And Mr. Grayson clicked on his email icon and typed in the address. "That's all right," said Bat. "I like to type." So Mr. Grayson let Bat sit in his chair and Bat typed. "Dear Dr. Jerry Dragoo." Mr. Grayson said, "You can just write Dear Dr. Dragoo. People don't usually write a first person and last person's name when they start a letter. People don't usually have a name as cool as Dr. Jerry Dragoo," Bat said. Mr. Grayson laughed. "Can't argue with that." And Bat went on. "My mom brought home a baby skunk. She is a vet, and she had to help him be born. His mother died, but she didn't have any diseases, and neither does he. His name is Thor, and I want to keep him as a pet because I know I can be a good pet caretaker. Even if I can't keep him forever, I want to at least keep him until he goes back home to the wild and not give him back to the skunk rescue people. Please write back and say I can so I can tell my mum that a world skunk expert says yes, and then she will probably let me keep him." "Is that okay?" Bat asked. Mr. Grayson didn't answer right away, so Bat turned to look at him. Mr. Grayson's face was scrunched up like he was trying not to laugh, or maybe like he was going to cry. "Mr. Grayson," Bat asked, "what's wrong?" "Nothing is wrong, Bat. That's a very nice email. I will be interested to hear what Dr. Dragoo says." "Me too," said Bat, and at the end of the email he typed, "Sincerely, Bixby Alexander Tam, and then in brackets, people call me Bat. And that's the end of chapter 16. So do come back and we will read some more. Thank you for joining us for virtual story time this week. If you enjoyed this story, come and visit us at the library or give us a call or a message and we will help you find more books, DVDs, movies, backpacks, whatever your literary heart desires. Thanks once again. Bye-bye.